Well, welcome to Vintage Farmhouse Antiques, and this video is about dressing a dresser with a collection of china, in this case a pure line, a single pattern of, in this case, Mosa china from Maastricht, not one we're particularly familiar with over collecting china over the last 20 or 30 years. It's the first time I've come across this china brand and pattern, made in the Netherlands. This is probably dating from the 1930s. Now there are some interesting bits and shapes in this collection, and we've laid it out over this dresser to try and display it at its best, and you have to get close up to really appreciate some of the detailing on this, particularly this teapot. Incredible moulding on it. Now some of the pieces are damaged, as you can see here. This has got a chip out of its rim here, and also, so common on teapots, the retaining inlet around the inner rim has gone as well, but it's still functional. It still rotates round and locks. Very short teapot spout, just look at that, but big squat, but look at the decoration on it, both in terms of the moulding here with the relief moulding that just picks up the detailing in the glaze, highlighting itself against the sort of creamier background of the thicker glaze around the relief moulding. And then this beautiful dusky pink floral garland bouquet. China marks on these pieces, Mosa Maastricht with the bridge in green. We think it's around 1930s, and we've tried to set this out over this dresser to really highlight all the different pieces that we've got in the set. Let me show you some more of these. On the middle row, we've spaced these teacups quite close together for impact. Milk jug in the centre with an oval serving platter behind it, and then the teacup duos with teacup and saucers. Initially we've placed one in front of each of the dinner plates and side plates, but then because of the volume of those that we've got in this set, which is 12, we've concentrated them on this row to try and give that impact of cream and pink. If you've got a deep enough recess on your dresser, and just let me show you what we've got on this one. Quite a deep inlet with a retaining depression which holds two plates in front of one another. This is quite a good trick for displaying china if you've got a large set. Normally on a dresser you may just have a single dinner plate on a row like this, but if you've got one of these deeper recesses, then by pulling that back and angling it, you can use the front plate, still nicely retained in the front recess, just in front of the larger dinner plate. And this is a 9.75 dinner plate with around a 7-inch side plate in front of it. And then to finish the display, we bring in the teacup and saucer to sit on the dresser shelf in front of it. And the overall effect then is just multiplied. The pattern lifts, less dressers visible, and more of the actual chinas on display. Now I've pulled right back for the full effect here. Sorry about the orchid in the foreground, but I'm going to come to that in a minute because we've picked up this colour pattern from the base planter that we've got here. But just look at the top row of this dresser, highlighted in the morning sunlight here in Norfolk. We've put the large soupiers and the fixed saucer sauce boat on the top shelf. We could have more height on there, and we did play around with putting the teapot and coffee pot up there. Looked very good, but we do think we're going to need to access those more frequently than we are those massive soupiers, which are more display pieces in this age. Let me just show you the display foreground. The orchid on the central island in front of the kitchen. We've picked it up and relieved it with this pink, quite modern oval planter that just, again, the colour combination in this room comes together with the Mosa Maastricht in the distance on the dresser, and in the foreground picking that colour up again with the planter. Now with dresser displays like this, you're always going to have some residual china that you're not going to be able to fit on your dresser display. The best thing to do with this is just to have stacks of it where you're going to be using it on a daily basis. Part of the set is these wonderful rimmed soup bowls. They're absolutely gorgeous. We're going to be using those a lot, not necessarily for soup. We tend to have either a green salad starter in these or pasta meals. They're ideal for that, and that's the modern way of using these type of bowls. but also we've got a selection of the side plates out on the counter and the dinner plates, all of which give us quick access on a day-to-day basis when you're not doing a big dinner service, but you want to have access just to pieces of this china that you can use. Same with the teacups. You can see we've retained a few of the teacups down on the base with the teapot, because that's obviously going to be something you're going to be accessing quite regularly. If you have guests around and want to make tea, you can get off the dresser any number of teacups and saucers straight over to service. So that's a really nice tip when you're thinking about how to lay out the china in terms of a display. Think about what you're going to want to use regularly and what you're going to want just on display and may not use from month to month. And try and assign a location on your dresser display that's going to fit with how the china is actually going to be used. Thanks for watching. Hope you found this useful. This Maastricht china is going to be going on sale gradually over the next few months. We're going to actually use and enjoy this, which is something I don't think many people in this business do china collecting and retail sales the way we do. We tend to buy what we love, have it on display and use it for a period of time. And then when something else comes along that just takes our fancy, we'll rotate that back into sale and bring whatever else is that we've just purchased back into use. And we'll actually get to enjoy it that way. And that's, for me, part of the joy of having this business. I love going out and searching for wonderful pieces of china like this, but you can't go on buying. Sooner or later you have to start selling it on to people for them to enjoy, and hopefully this will end up in somebody's collection around the world, probably, because we do sell internationally. So if you are looking at wanting or showing an interest in this set, do contact us using the connect buttons through the websites, and we can certainly have a discussion about either the whole set or specific pieces. Thanks for watching.